Are you PCSing to naval-based kits at Bremerton, Bangor, or Keyport? Then watch this video till the end. There are 5 things you need to know before coming to this area, so stay tuned. What's up, everybody? It's Cassandra Lopez with the Living in Bremerton channel. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit subscribe, tap that little bell so you're notified every time I drop a new video. This channel is all about living in Bremerton and the surrounding areas. So whether you are moving here for the first time or maybe you've lived here for a while, go ahead and tap that little bell and you can reach out to me directly. This is my cell phone and my email. Feel free to call, text, or email me if there's anything I can do to support your relocation to Bremerton, Washington. So your active duty, thank you for your service, and your PCSing to Bremerton or Bangor or Keyport. So here are some things you need to know. Number 1, start early. As soon as your orders are in hand, start planning your move. I can't stress this enough because a lot of the dates that align with your housing and all that sort of thing are attached to the dates of the detachment of your current command or the time you put in an application for housing if it's within 30 days. You want to make sure that all of that stuff lines up so that by the time you arrive, you have a place to stay, you at least have temporary lodging, and all of your ducks are in a row and everything's totally taken care of. So start early. Brings me to point number 2, which is figure out your housing. So you have lots of options when it comes to housing. So if you have a family of dependents, then you are eligible for base housing. You're going to want to get on that list as soon as possible because there likely will be a wait list, and how long you have to wait is going to depend on a few factors like your pay grade, your family size, if you have pets or not, because they are going to need to make allowances for a unit that allows pets and that sort of thing. So you're going to want to get on that wait list early if you want to include base housing as one of your options. There are also options to rent an apartment or rent a house out in town. There is an option to buy a house out in town. There is an option to live on board or in barracks. Now, this one may actually be a requirement. Your command may or may not implement a mandatory probationary period for junior enlisted personnel to either live on board or on base in the barracks. And so you're going to want to check with your chain of command to your duty station that you're PCSing to, or the ombudsman who services the command that you're PCSing to get all of those details to make sure that you're making all the right decisions and checking all the right boxes. I mentioned temporary lodging. So on Bangor, there is a Navy lodge, which may or may not have space available for you. So again, back to starting early. So you're going to want to make sure that you have accommodations there. So if you arrive and say you are on the wait list for base housing, but there's like a 2-week gap, well, you need somewhere to stay, right? So Navy Lodge might be a great option. An alternative might be out in town. There's also an option called Furnished Finder. This is a great short-term rental option if you need something for like 30 to 60 days. It's fully furnished, so if your household goods haven't arrived yet, this might be a really good opportunity for you to take advantage of getting somewhere to stay short term while you're waiting for more permanent accommodation. I will put a link for that in the description below. A major thing you're going to want to take into account is checking out the area amenities. And by that, I mean what kind of school districts are there in if you have kiddos and you want them to be in a particular school district. If you are looking for a specific place of worship, you're going to want to make sure that that is available to you. If you need accommodations close to base, if you need to be within walking distance or a certain commute distance of base, or if you need to be near public transportation, all of those things need to be factored in when you're looking for your more permanent or semi-permanent accommodations out in town. Something to ask yourself when you are PCSing here is, how are you getting here? Is the military packing up your house and moving all of your household goods to arrive at some undisclosed time in the future? Are you doing a dity move? That's what I did when I was PCSing here. I was a single person, no dependents. I had a cat that I dropped off at my mom's. but it was just easier for me and it made more sense to do a dity move because I just had a car full of stuff, right? I didn't need the Navy coming and packing out my house. I didn't even have a house back then. But something to take into account is if you are doing a household goods move with the military and they're trucking all your stuff across country or wherever you're coming from, they don't really align their dates of delivery with your housing accommodations. So you could get here and your household goods could be 30 days behind. You never know. So something to just take into account is, do you have a contingency plan if your household goods don't arrive for a while? Do you have an air mattress to sleep on? Do you have a membership to REI where you can go grab a couple things real quick for cheap? Because nothing at REI is cheap. But anyway, it's just something to take into account while you're transitioning and before all that dust settles. When are your household goods going to arrive? And the last thing you're going to want to do while you're preparing the PCS here to the Bremerton area is to make friends with a local. Oftentimes when you're PCSing, and this is the case for me as well, you've never been to that duty station before, it's your first time in the area, and so maybe you don't know anybody here. Maybe the only people you know are in your chain of command or your ombudsman, which is still awesome. But it's really good to make friends with a local who knows the area, knows the neighborhoods, knows the pockets, someone who knows the school districts and the restaurants and the movie theaters and the hiking spots and all of these things that go along with just living here. You're going to want to make friends with a local, and if you don't know anybody, well, now you do. We'll totally be friends. If you like that video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Tap that little bell so you're notified every time I drop a new video. Feel free to share this one with a friend if you think they might benefit. And please don't hesitate to call, text, or email me if there's anything I can do to support your PCS to Bremerton, Washington. Bye for now.